Hello, I'm Henry Becker, Director of Research with Lighthouse Wealth Management. We've been getting a number of questions regarding tariffs and trade wars, so we thought we'd put together a quick video regarding those topics. Now, before I get into that, I will say I apologize for the background. We are still renovating our offices, getting very close to finished, but we're shooting in my temporary office space. Before we really dive into the topics, though, let's be very clear. Tariffs and trade wars have existed so long as there's been two sovereign nations in existence. We can go back as far as the Romans and see tariffs and trade wars between other nations. So that's not something new. What's new is that two things. One, we have a president that likes to use Twitter, so he keeps information out there that normally would have been by other presidencies kept behind closed doors. And the other is we have a president that is putting into question the currency and trading system that has gone on for so long now that it seems like it's normal. And in fact, it's not. So perhaps it's how the president is going about the tariff negotiations that has made it seem as though it's something different and unique when in fact it's really not. So very simply, a tariff is a tax on an imported good. The whole point of the tariff is to increase the cost of the imported good, thereby discouraging the purchase of those imported goods. Now, the real issue or point of having these tariffs, the reason why they're rolled out, typically has something to do with either protecting industries, supporting employment, national defense, or dealing with aggressive trading partners or trading policies. So what's going on with China? The issue with China is that they keep low wages as well as an artificially low exchange rate on its currency. And this helps maintain their global competitiveness, but this comes at the expense of foreign businesses and their own population. But for example, if we look at steel, the Chinese subsidize their steel industry. And what that means, the knock-on effect to us, is that they are depressing the prices of steel globally, which for the United States means we just can't compete at those low wages or find it difficult to compete at those low wages, which results in closed factories and or laying off employees. So now, the other thing with China is that for them to attract capital, they do attract capital, but they also require foreign companies to enter into joint ventures with Chinese companies where foreign companies, i.e. US or European companies, have to hand over technology to the Chinese entities. Basically, in a way, they're strong-arming or stealing intellectual property from foreign companies. And we've heard President Trump talk about this a number of times in some of his speeches. So that seems to be the center of the issue with the president as it relates to going after China. So what about the rest of the world? The important thing to keep in mind with tariffs is that one tariff can't really be compared to another, either with one country or amongst many countries. And I'll give you an example. The United States has a 2.5% import tax on cars, but Europe has a 10% tariff on imported cars. Well, it would seem like that's unfair, but if you dig into the details of this legacy tariff, this has been in existence for some time now. If you dig into the difference, one of the major differences is that the European car manufacturing is a bigger piece of the European economy than in the United States. So in a way, they're trying to level the field with the tariff. If you just look at it in isolation, 2.5 versus 10, where's this difference? So you can't just look, one cannot just look at one tariff versus another. There's a bigger picture that has to be looked at. The bottom line is that the current tariff and trade talk is really part of a process to rewrite global trading rules amongst more or less westernized nations. So we fully expect that in this new global economy, there's going to be a little bit of pain involved in it, and mostly that pain will be felt by the companies and countries that have been on the benefiting end of some of these trade policies. Thus far, the U.S. economy has held up very well amongst all this news release and tweets. We do expect volatility to happen around news release and tweets, but overall, again, the U.S. market has held up well, especially small and mid-sized companies that aren't quite as impacted by tariff and trade talks. So, as always, if you have any questions, issues, or concerns, please feel free to reach out.